Hello and welcome. Oh, sorry, let me try it again. Hello and welcome to an amazing podcast. Dang, I almost
You restarted just to mess it up again.
Yeah, but you know what? Flaws are charming, and I'm not gonna deny this failure.
It's very mature of you to accept. Sorry, no.
Damn it. I was trying to get my redemption arc, and you just interrupted. God, this is an amazing podcast. This is D Muscle Burn.
This is man, I forgot again. Hold on, I think I have a quote again. I don't dream. I like that quote from Dot. That was pretty funny.
Don't dream.
Mo don't dream or something. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I am Matt. Bleach eyes because I want to bleach my eyes.
That's foreshadowing for how this review is gonna go. I'm guessing.
All right, so allow me the pleasure of kicking things off. We are reviewing episodes. I know the number. I'm not looking at my Crunchyroll history. You can't prove it. I know the number. It's 11 minus 3.
8, 9, and 10. Oh, wait a minute. Which episode? Is it just episode 8 that we're doing?
No, we're doing all those episodes in that time frame. Yep.
Okay.
Modi's the math person.
Yeah.
He got this.
Yes. The entirety of the Chamber of Secrets arc. So not Chamber of Secrets, the first movie.
That is.
That's what they're doing.
True, yeah.
I'm not sure, but I will say something I am sure about. I think a lot of the stuff in this batch of episodes is a good step in the right direction for me. I don't think it has fixed a lot of my issues with the show are still persistent, but I do enjoy that they are leaning away from this. I like how each of the characters had their own moment to shine and moment to fight. I enjoyed that they put in the same amount. It feels like they put in the same amount of effort as Mashle in their individual encounters. I definitely enjoyed Dot in this batch of episodes. And I will say, okay, I think I figured out my issue with the show. This show can't tell if it wants to be a serious shonen or a parody shonen, and it's caught dead in the middle of that. Because this show has a very clear as day shonen-y battle mechanic, and it definitely has a lot of serious stuff going on in the background. But again, Mashle is a character who is just an affront to that, and I feel like him being so overpowered, unlike something like One Punch Man or Mob Psycho, doesn't play enough into the themes of the show or sort of makes a big enough statement or commentary about what it's trying to accomplish. Also, I'm definitely starting to see Matt's point about women in this series.
Yeah, the pink-haired girl, right?
No, the blonde-haired Princess Peach girl.
Oh, okay. Or both of them, or I guess all the girls. But yes, I agree with you that these last batch of episodes is a step in the right direction. But it's funny, ironically, I was more hopeful when it was worse than now when it's better. And the reason is, I feel like before, the problem that I had was that it just wasn't getting to the quote-unquote good stuff yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is getting to the quote-unquote good stuff, but it's not as great as I would want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to me, it's I feel like I'm seeing the show's full potential. Essentially is that's how I feel. I feel like I'm seeing, or the series' full potential. Maybe not in the super long run, but this season's probably only going to be 12 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it's going to get better by the end of the season. I'm not sure if season 2 is going to get that much better. I feel like the basics, Mashle does it correctly, I guess. Like, it does the basics, and it's good enough, but it just doesn't have just that extra something to it, like, to take it over the top, like to make it like
This
different.
feels
And yeah.
This feels like one of those shows that people will say. This feels like one of those shows where people will be like, "Oh man, it gets so hype at episode 100. Oh man, when it gets to like the 8th arc, it's gonna be lit." It feels like you're gonna hear a lot of the same stuff people will say about like Black Clover, where once you make it 100 chapters in, it gets really good.
Yeah. Except I guess I would say something similar. But I feel like the thing that's interesting about Mashle to me is it started off like the caliber of episode 1 and 2, I guess, or maybe it was just episode 1, is on a completely different caliber than like these last few.
Yes.
Like the middle episodes between like 2 and 5 or 2 and 6 or whatever, that stuff was just like set up, right?
Yep.
Now we're actually getting to the plot, and so I feel like this is the time to show what you are made of as like a shonen battle series writer. And it's fine, but I just feel like I could probably watch a bunch of other stuff that's better.
What were you saying before about like this being like a true student of like the shonen genre or something?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Like that's exactly why I think this series is perfect for someone who's a student of the shonen genre, because it's you see it works at like a basic level, right? Like you see all the gears turning and you see how it works. So like if you want to learn how shonen works, like this is like the blueprint. Like this is pretty much like an outline of like the story beats you need to hit, what you have to do. Oh, when you have these two characters fighting each other, one character has to believe something about the world, and then your main character has to prove him wrong, and by the end of the fight he realizes he was wrong. And like you just see that. So in other series it's not as it's more subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff
Naruto.
like One Piece, Naruto, super subtle. Like it's much more subtle in other series. Even Bleach is more subtle. This
Even
is
Dragon
very
Ball Z.
yeah. This one is very straightforward, and it's like right there for you to see. And so I feel like if you're like younger, and it's not like you have a lot of experience with shonen, you probably won't notice it. But if you're older and if like you want to learn how shonen works, this is the perfect show for that.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess these episodes are better than the previous ones, I guess. But
How many bleaches out of 10 would you rate these?
No
spoilers, never mind.
20 Bleachillion.
Wait, so you think this is a lot better than Bleach?
No.
Oh.
That was such a cold no. He sounded offended at that statement.
Yeah, he was like, how dare you?
How dare you use the name of Bleach in vain, sir?
I have like 3 pages of notes. I have 3.5 pages of notes I had for this episode.
Okay, well, I mean,
episodes.
hey, start us off then. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna debunk every single thing.
Oh, please. Students are just like killing each other. Like
Students in this world are sociopaths.
Oh yeah.
what? So is the headmaster like enforcing any rules against students killing each other? Is there not some kind of code where they can keep track of the amount of spells that they're using? Is there not like anything that prevents just students from just straight up torturing and killing each other? Like there's a guy that's just been going around sapping students of their magical power. Why is the headmaster often like? Where is he at? Where are the teachers?
Okay, in this show's defense, we've seen how the headmaster reacts to you burying one of the principals alive. So I think all of this is pretty much in character.
But if that's the case, though, why isn't he helping the people that are being kidnapped and still? If he's like, oh, well, that guy was a dick anyways, right? Okay, fine. But why isn't there anyone stopping just like... These people just killing each other. These are just kids that are just murdering each other and no one gives a shit. But it's like a prestigious school. Like,
You see, again, this is the thing. Like, we all thought like the headmaster was being light on Mash because he actually believed him and he actually felt for him. No, he's just really bad at his job. You think he didn't give Abel the exact same speech? It's like, you know what? You turned half your classroom into puppet slaves, but I see something special in you.
That's another thing. He literally has students doing like government detective work for him.
Yeah.
Like, this is just so wild. It's insane.
You're the most like power. I don't know if he is the most powerful wizard, but he's supposed to be like a really powerful wizard, right?
He probably is.
Or why does he just like do anything? Like, that's what was good. That's what was good about Harry Potter is that the like a lot of the villains had to kind of like underhandedly like attack Harry because Dumbledore was such a sort of defensive presence in the school, and that made it more interesting for. But when students are just straight up killing each other, I don't really like buy it too much. I don't know.
Well, Matt, think about it this way. Mm-hmm. Maybe if they studied a little bit more, they'd be more prepared for the puppet wizard trying to kill them.
This brings up a good question, I think, which is that, okay, what level of unrealisticness is unacceptable? Because, okay, before this, I would have said you can be as unrealistic as you want as long as you're consistent. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm trying to think of any series, like even like any shonen series, where you have the people in a school and they're allowed to just kill each other, but not like there's of course there's series where people are like fighting and maybe even killing each other in school, but it's like in a very structured way.
Yeah.
But this is just a lawless land. Like
it's like the Wild West here,
roaming around. Just like committing assassinations. Like this is just
robbing the other schools.
I don't even like My Hero, but My Hero did this better. Like, you don't have the students who are just killing each other.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a school where, like, if you get, like, all A's, the bully can just run up, beat you up, and steal your report card?
Yeah.
So, like, I actually wonder, like, is it too far?
There's like, not even classes
Can I say this is too far? You know, I don't know.
They don't even go to classes, I'm sure. Like, they're just going around just stealing. All they care about, too, is the stupid coins or whatever. Like, the school mechanic doesn't exist outside of the aesthetic of the show.
That's the perfect statement. I think that's, like, perfectly describes it, I think. Like, that's exactly it. The school mechanic it shouldn't be taking place in the school because, like, all this stuff is, like, doesn't really make much sense at all.
That's the thing, because that's what I'm saying. Like, this would be perfectly fine in a parody shonen, but it establishes that there's a lot of like systems, rules, and government in this world. So it's weird when like the like number one school in the entire world is like the freaking Hunger Games Battle Royale.
There should be like a lock on towards any student that like uses their magic. And again, this is borrowing from Harry Potter, but they already do it so much anyways. There's a reason why it works in Harry Potter, because it doesn't just prevent like fucking Slytherin students going around Avada Kedavra, like death cursing all the fucking other students, because like you can't have that. There's like an entire Ministry of Magic where it's like you can't do spells outside of classes. Like, but here it's just like I don't think they're like actually utilizing any of the school mechanics of it. At least like My Hero had like exams and like had stuff with the teachers, right? Like this show's not interested in that at all.
I like to think that all of this stuff is in place, but this batch of students are just so broken they can easily just like threaten the teachers into silence.
It's like is the majority of students just like doing their classes, and then these fucks are in the background being like, "I'm going to kill you and steal all of your like tokens so that I can be the High Magistrate," or whatever the fuck it was.
That's like, exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
All right.
Which means pretty much if you want to like survive at the school, you just have to not stand out. You just have to be like an average student, so they won't come for you.
No, you just gotta do your classes.
Yeah.
You have to not only be you have to have like completely average looks and above average strength.
Oh yeah, because if you don't have average looks, then Dot's coming for you for sure. So
also, why is the dungeon area where they have all these death traps? Where the fuck are the teachers? Is there no like curfew? Also, why is there like it's just the teachers don't exist. Like, there's no one like making sure the students stay in line. But not only that, but the whole like death dungeon is like within the school. There's a guy who's got like a weird like Nazi class where he's just like transforming people into like puppets, and no one's there to like prevent that. Like, the world was not thought out at well. They just had a bunch of cool scenes and they put them in there without thinking about like what the hell's going on.
To be fair, the whole Nazi class honestly fits perfectly well within this universe because we've even established that they just genocided out 2 races of people. So like the whole like I have to imagine that like the Nazi class is probably like established school rules. You probably have a Nazi 101 in the school.
Okay, if that's the case, then why is the principal, the main wizard guy, why is he such like a bro then?
Honestly,
like, why is he not doing anything about them? Because he's supposed to be like a good guy. It's not like he's just as bigoted as they are.
Because he's a cool dude, okay? Kids need to make their mistakes. They have to learn from like their own actions, and they have to be allowed to bump their heads, okay?
Why are the wolf furry class so much more powerful than other classes? When that one like Adler kid that was the brother of like Ron Weasley just like wiped out that one kid who's supposed to be top of his class. How is the Adler kid? How are the other like 2 houses so weak when they have students that could just like wipe out the main council of the other ones?
So I'm pretty sure like the Finn's brother was probably away. I think he's probably like an alumni or something from what they implied.
Okay.
So I take that, and the other thing is they base it off of personality. So I'm guessing like certain personalities are probably more prone to like violent outbursts than others. Because like remember, the Slytherin household is like the ones who want to take over the world, the leaders, the super hoity-toity folks. So it makes sense that that's the class that would be more prone to like underhanded aggressive behavior.
Why is he the only like competent adult though? Like, how come you can't just send? If you have to like go and like get to, like call one of your alumni, it's like if my college called me and like, hey, we need your help. We have like people on the campus that are causing issues. And it's like, what about your own security for your fucking magic school? What about all the other like adult staff that are at this stupid fucking magic school? Why did you send them to like shut down the students? Why did you fucking expel the students? I don't know.
Because Finn's brother already graduated, and you think he let any of those people still standing?
So, a question. So I know he's a divine visionary, or whatever it is it's called. So the divine visionaries are not students; they're all people who have graduated already.
I'm guessing that. I don't think it was fully established yet, but right now I'm under the impression of once you become a divine visionary, you leave the school like you're graduated, and then when you come back, you just rock your coat and everything.
I don't have a good handle.
Makes it a little
Sorry,
bit.
go on.
That makes it a little bit better for me because when I thought he was a student, I was just like, this is just super ridiculous. Like the headmaster is having the student do like, CIA ops for him or whatever. But like, if it's, I can kind of see it more if it's like, if he's actually like a ministry employee, because to me, it'd be like the same as like sending over someone from the government to investigate something happening at the school. Yeah. So like, it's not that bad to me actually.
But why wouldn't you have your own staff like doing anything against these like students? Like,
I mean, really, if we're gonna have this conversation, I mean, he should have shut down the school years ago, right? But that's just a whole different story, right?
Well, it makes sense because in most like developed country schools, you're not allowed to hit your students, so the teachers can't do anything. Like,
if your students going around like fucking killing like other students and like absorbing their life energy, like which. By the way, it's fucking useless anyways. Your students are just going around just absorbing people's life energies, right? You could, like, fucking call the cops on them. You could, like, expel them. Like, all the people that they're sucking have to be also prominent, like, kids, too. They probably have parents who aren't happy that their students are being drained, like, their kids are being drained of magic. I just don't think they put, like... I don't think the school itself is, like, fleshed out enough for me to, like, actually give a shit. Because, like, I have all these questions that I don't think are going to, like, pop up at all. Because They only want the school for the aesthetic. They don't care.
Yeah.
I would like it if they had actual staff, right? I would like it if they had like
Mhm.
teachers and like other characters that I could like latch onto, right? That could be like, oh, that's
Yep.
cool. That's what they're doing. Like, I would like them to build the school a bit better because that's the main fucking setting of the show, but they don't do that at all.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, again, it's like I said, masterclass in shonen. Most of the focus is world building and characters and fighting. A lot of the more finer institutes and everything and government always feels like it's kind of left out on the side most of the time.
No, there's no world building here though.
There is.
It's convenient world building. The world building only pops up when it needs to like specifically serve the function of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it doesn't exist. Like when unless like they needed to. Like the existence of any of these institutions like don't exist outside of like when the plot immediately needs it.
Yes, yes. The world building, it feels like it directly exists to support the characters and their personalities. It doesn't exist to stabilize the world in a certain sense. It doesn't exist to ground the world.
That's annoying. I guess they should just stop paying attention to the world that the show's building if they don't really care about it.
I mean, I would agree with you that there isn't any more. Like to me, I'm still stuck on all the Harry Potter shit. Like,
Yeah.
that's just so it's so annoying to me because I mean we already talked about this before. I'm not gonna go back into it again, but it's just like if you're gonna have this much of references to something, you can't like you have to actually be like commenting on it in some way. But yeah, it's just. But okay, so the main thing I want to talk about is, the main issue I have, like the thing that if I drop the show, the reason is that I'm gonna drop the show, is because, it doesn't do a good job of making you actually care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially these last few episodes, with, like all these fights, it just feels like it's rushing through the, the beats, I guess, like just doing what it's supposed to do, but it's not really hitting the way it should, like all the emotional stuff, and I think that's kind of bad.
Yeah, because like I said, I won't say it's formula. It feels worse than it feels like. I would say it's formulaic, but it feels so much more deeper than that because you can clearly see and feel all the beats in the fight. Where it's just like, oh yes, I'm the new like they introduced the villain, they establish his power and how strong he is. Main character counters, the main villain counters the counter, and the main character plays his trump card and then wins the fight.
Yeah.
And then you have, in between all of that, before like the main character wins, you have the dramatic flashback to give context to the main character and the villain of the week.
Yep.
That show is so annoying. They just beat the other guys. The show is allergic to having its like characters lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same fucking formula every time with every single fight.
Mm-hmm.
Against like students, like these guys should be kicking their asses. I know that the whole.
I don't think so. Okay, I think I don't need to see them lose yet, like because I know it's coming. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I know it's coming, so I don't need to see it now. Every time they win, to me, I'm just taking it as more information on how strong they actually are. Maybe it's because I'm a One Piece fan and like Luffy. Like I mean, anyway, I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But pretty much what I'm saying is I can I don't have a problem with the.
At what point is it? Do you think they should lose? Because I feel like at this point they should have at least like struggled like a little bit. Like the fact that Mash, because you said that previously when Mash was like when we saw that Mash and the masked person are like equal. Mash just kicked his fucking ass anyways. Like it doesn't. It didn't actually like result in anything. Like they were. He did the same thing he always does. He like. Also, what's the point of him? The whole narrative of him not having magic when he has like stuff that's better than magic.
Yeah,
like he has powers. Like he can teleport. He can just straight up teleport. He can like fly. Yeah. He can. This time he didn't even kick his legs. He was just like floating in the air.
Well, maybe if we want to get deep, we can say that this is like the story doing a meta commentary on how even if society looks down on you for the way you are, you still have something special about you that makes you better.
Mm.
Uh,
It's going into the whole like shonen thing of it doesn't matter what way you're born, as long as you work hard and train, you can always overcome any kind of situation.
that doesn't come across in this show
Oh
to
no.
me. I don't think because he's kind of all we get from episode 1 is he trains a lot, right? We don't
Yeah.
actually see him work or like do anything clever to like find a way to like achieve situations in which he would normally be disadvantaged in. He just has
Okay.
superpowers that trumps over the magic people. If anything, the magic people are the underdogs because he's able to just like he has his own powers.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Okay, I completely disagree with you. We also had this argument last time, but like the stuff he does is clever, okay? And
Yeah.
they're not
How?
they're not the underdogs. Obviously not. What do you mean how? Okay,
Okay.
when he
I'll give credit that I think this recent fight scene with the mask guy, and honestly, I don't feel like him being overpowered is the issue. I think the biggest issue that I'm feeling is again the fights feel very formulaic, and I do appreciate that he does have to change his tactics to accomplish different like tasks. Like I like the idea of him like flinching his muscles to try to catch the guy to do it to get a blow off, get a hit off on him. That came out really badly. And I like the idea of him like slapping the ground to limit like the movement. Like this could easily be like a One Punch Man kind of thing where he just punches him and then boom, the fight's over. But I do appreciate that he does have tactics and he does approach things with he does come up with different solutions for different problems.
He got stabbed like a million times with the sword.
wait, what's your point with that?
He got fucking stabbed. His abs caught the blade.
And he's still
What's
like
the point?
he's not flinching at all.
He's like
Wait, okay, is the
superhuman.
point
Like
you're making
things.
that it's too unreal, like his strength is too unrealistic? Because I think that's different from.
I
what you're
think
saying
I
before.
think he doesn't. There's no like dramatic weight to it at all because he just has super. And I don't think it really fits the narrative of like he's him like overcoming any like obstacles when he can just like punch his way through it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the narrative is weakened by the fact that he basically has superpowers. No, he has superpowers. He just does.
To me, the way I look at it is, I just get more excited, honestly, every time because I'm like, oh, okay. When he finally does lose, it's gonna be interesting to see what does him in, and then what happens after.
I think that'll never happen.
To me, I just get more excited.
I'm calling it now. I think it'll never happen. I don't think he'll ever actually lose anything.
That is like that is the most insane bet you could make for any story, Matt.
I'm making it with this one.
Think about
because he
that.
should have lost something by now, but he hasn't. He literally got stabbed in the gut.
No, he shouldn't have by now. We're 8 episodes in.
But against the
Or no, sorry, 10 episodes. I
he's
guess.
he's one step away from reaching the final guy. He just wiped out like his entire all of his lieutenants.
Okay, I see. Sure, final guy for maybe this season, this arc or whatever. But this is just like, I keep saying this, but this is in the grand scheme. We're still at the very start. Like this is all set up still.
I shouldn't have to wait this long for the show to be good.
I think, yeah, it just comes down to you not having shonen stamina.
Breaking Bad episode 1 was good. If no other episodes came out after Breaking Bad 1, it would still be hailed as like this episode was like a really good episode of a show that never happened. Like it has its own self-contained like interest in like cohesiveness that this show doesn't have. I shouldn't have to wait for the show to be good. Like I don't know.
I definitely feel you on that, and I will say, because I don't know, it's hard, because I do feel where you're coming from, like, I feel like I think my biggest issue with the show is MASH does not seem invested in what's going on around him. When you look at something like My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, the characters have sort of an emotional, like, dog in the fight. MASH doesn't have all of that. Like he feels so disconnected from whatever is going on, and you never feel like he's actually moved or like something affects him personally. He always just has this stone-faced demeanor to him, and I think that's one of the things that are just that's creating a hang-up for me.
The moment that I did like was him talking with the demon eye person, being like wanting to be their friend and saying that like I've been through it too and I wouldn't judge you for it. I like that moment. That was the moment I like at the show where it's like, oh, okay, that was nice.
That's I honestly, I kind of wish they pushed that moment forward because it's a really smart moment because Mashle is literally the only person who the eye guy doesn't have a negative effect on. Like, he's literally the closest thing to a best friend he could probably get in this world, and I kind of like how I kind of wish they had more of an emotional payoff with that instead of it just being like, "Oh, I respect you, bye." I
agree.
Think like a deep moment. I think you could develop a really nice bond between those characters. And I do hope they sort of play that up more.
Let me just say, the eye person would be a better side character than all the side characters currently combined.
Oh, easily. Definitely better than Lance.
Who's Lance again?
Exactly.
The guy.
Oh, okay. I like them after. So Lance, I like his fights. He has good fights, I think. His first one in the owlery place, and then the one he just had with the gravity stuff. Okay, so his final move, like his finishing trump card of the
Bankai.
gravity thing. Yeah, his Bankai. What do you think about that?
Stupid. Hate it.
I didn't. I like the idea of it. I don't like the execution. Like, if they're going to introduce, like, this brand new power level of magic that's super elite that only a few in the world can, like, achieve, it should have been done against someone who can't achieve the exact same power to really hammer home how dangerous the secondary magic is. And if they wanted to do the thing where, oh, I also have a secondary as well, really sell how dangerous the clash between these two are, because it feels like you would expect if these are like super god tier, like super high tier magic, that when they collide, there's going to be a lot of collateral. You're going to feel it when those two things clash. But the way it's set up now is they just cancel each other out. It's just a poof.
Secondary magic feels useless. It really does.
Because that's the other thing. Like, they introduced like when you watch Bleach and you see like a Bankai for the first time, you feel it. It's a moment. It's epic, and you know that it's something that's really powerful. Here, as soon as they introduce the secondaries, they just get stomped within the same fight. Like, even in Bleach, when two characters like use their Bankais and fight each other, the fight kicks up really hard, and you feel how strong this is.
Also, he just randomly triggers it. Like, it's not even like I figured out how he did his secondary, now I know how to do my own. Or I trained to, like, use my secondary, now I'm using it in battle. It was just, like, it felt like it was, as the audience, it was our first time learning about secondaries. It also felt like it was his first time learning it, and he's like, oh, that's cool, I have a secondary, let me just use it real quick. He wasn't even struggling in the fight. I don't know. What does matter? Whatever, they're their own Bankais. They're Bankais.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I wasn't trying to like nitpick or something. I was just actually wondering because I didn't catch it.
I think they're called something like that.
It's like secondlies or something.
Right. It was stupid.
Okay, so they definitely have a name.
Mm-hmm.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's.
Secondeth. It's like Secondeth. It's Secondeth.
Yeah. Secondeth, yeah.
With like a TDH at the end.
Yeah.
Also, why didn't the guys in the previous fight use their Secondeth against the shark guy and the boomerang guy?
Because it was too powerful. He couldn't use it because it would hurt the birds.
They almost died. No, I'm saying why didn't the attackers use the Secondeths?
I think the idea is only a few, like, not everyone in the Slytherin household can use secondiths.
I thought these were the main people in the Slytherin household. I thought they were like the top guys.
I'm assuming that it's like it's only certain people have it.
But the sword person used it.
Which one?
The sword person, the demon eye person, used their second death.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I'm guessing it's either two things. It's either only a certain number of them can use second diffs, or it's the kind of thing where it's just like, oh, my second diff doesn't work as well in the situation, so I decided not to use it, kind of thing.
But the first year figured it out spontaneously.
I'm guessing the guy with the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
They implied that he just studied really hard to unlock it. So I'm guessing it's something you have to actively achieve and push for. So I'm assuming that not all of them necessarily have it.
Shit's stupid. Either way, it's stupid.
God, you and your Bankai hatred. Jeez.
Ron is useless. I don't know his actual name, but the Ron stand-in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does he cast magic?
To do something.
Does he use magic? Is he like Mashle? Does he have we seen him use magic?
I don't think so. I don't know what magic he uses.
Why didn't he use magic right before he was about to die?
Okay,
I'm really annoyed by his character because I
He's
thought
so
he was going
fucking
to
annoying.
do something. Like, why did he even come along? I mean, it's not over. He probably will actually. But yeah.
Honestly, that's the thing. I thought that was going to be his character moment. I thought that was going to be his moment because it's like, okay, there's two of them. Like, Dot is feeling the effects from the previous fight, so this is going to be the moment where he like faces fears and we see what he can do. No, he's still like.
He doesn't even try to cast a spell. Does he even want?
You know
the sad part about his character is?
Yeah.
Usually when you have those type of characters in shonen, they exist solely to like react and give exposition dumps about how tough the main characters are. He doesn't even do that.
This guy is just like he's a worse version of Usopp, like a much worse version of Usopp actually. Okay, so you know the part that you were talking about, like when Dot is like pretty much completely out of energy and like he's about to like brace an attack, right? I'm like, okay, this is where Finn's gonna step up, but no, his big brother comes in and saves the day, and he just watches. He doesn't say hi, nothing. It's just like, okay, I mean, all of this stuff is just making me like, the longer Finn goes without something happening, it makes me think, okay, something definitely has to happen.
Also, just kill him
towards when we reach the end of the season, because otherwise, why the hell is he here? Why is he even in the cast as a character? You know, like there's no purpose for him.
He served less purpose than Lemon,
which is honestly impressive.
Okay, yeah, that okay. So the pink-haired girl, she was extremely annoying.
I hate her.
I forgot what I said last time, Matt, because I remember last time you said something about the girls in the series.
Yeah.
And overall, I agree with you, but I don't know if I said it out loud or if I said it in my head. But pretty much, I was thinking that like maybe like as we see more, like pretty much the thing. I don't know if I said it out loud, but what I was thinking was that honestly, it seems like he's quickly running out of female tropes. There really aren't that many. So I was thinking that as we see more female characters in the series, they're gonna be like more normal. But I think this trope that he used for the pink-haired girl is just Lemon cranked up to like a 20. You know,
Okay.
it's just
To counter that point, we saw Dot's big sister, and he is actually doing it. She actually seemed normal.
Yeah, true.
Dot's big sister is my favorite character in the show. Mostly because I think she looks hot, but that's it.
As she does.
But so far she's the number one. We'll see if anyone else trumps that, but yeah.
She's the only one too.
Is it weird that I think kid Dot is slightly more tolerable than adult or teenage Dot?
He's not an incel yet, so
I can see why you say that. I can definitely see that. I mean, I like teenage Dot, but I can see why you for sure.
Also, okay, you know what? I will say this. I think Dot was my favorite character in this batch because I do like how when pink-haired girl was trying to like seduce him, he was just like, nah, like, man, this is really transparent. This is kind of lame. I give him credit for like not being a complete degenerate.
No. You misinterpret that
also-
scene. You guys misinterpret this scene. He didn't go for her because she was being obvious. He didn't go for her because he was loyal to Lemon. He said he was going to fall for it if he wasn't loyal to Lemon. And he apologized for not falling for it.
That's what I respect about him too. The fact that he's loyal, even though he doesn't even have Lemon, he's loyal to Lemon. So
okay, you know what? I would have given Finn. I would have like my opinion of Finn. Honestly, would have gone up a little bit if he did the exact opposite and started simping just to save his life.
I think Finn could be a good character if he was like the most grounded character, as in like he would purely exist to just be like, this shit is crazy. Oh my god, get me out of here.
Yes.
But he doesn't. He's not even that.
That's why I say he's a worse version of Usopp. I guess you don't know who Usopp is.
I don't know who Usopp is. Yeah.
One Piece reference.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even want to say he's a worse version of Usopp because that makes it sound like Usopp is bad. Usopp's a great character.
Yeah.
But,
He's just
anyway.
worse. He's way better than Finn.
I guess what I want to say is I just want to say he's like the archetype of like character that Usopp is, but just like the actual worst version of it that I've ever seen.
So this character has a character that we're supposed to laugh at, who's like an incel, like the Dot, right?
Yep.
Yet this show actively like makes people like boys into incels because of the way that they portray women. All of the women in this show serve to like in some relation towards the way they interact with men. Like you had like these two villain women where all their whole thing is being manipulative and like being obsessive and like wanting to seduce men. And the female protagonist exists to fawn over the main character and to have men fawn over her, and also is the only character who gets captured that they have to save.
Hey, Dot's sister was on point. Dot's sister was on point.
That's the only, sure.
You know what's interesting to me is that you see in general, right? You can see a trend in anime, especially shonen anime, of like how they write female characters, and typically overall it's like it's improved a lot, but.
And then Mashle and Demon Slayer say, "Hold my beer," and shouldn't that shit right back
Jujutsu Kaisen is so much better than this shit.
No, not even the 90s. Mashle does worse than like the earliest shit. Like it's I'm actually shocked. It's like, bro, like you must have like this is 2023. Like how are you doing this? Which makes me think. The more I watch of Mashle, it just makes me think that like, man, I don't want to like sit here and shit on the author or anything. So I'm not gonna make this sound like very bad. But pretty much I feel like this author is he's relying on a whole bunch of references and tropes and like just guidelines, I guess, and he's just putting it all together in his story, and there isn't much of anything like,
much like thought put into the tropes and like why they're like there.
And like because the reason I say that is because not writing female characters that are just that ridiculously basic, like in order to do that, you have to just completely have like not have any sort, like not put in any of your own originality and individuality into the writing that you're doing, because no person on earth, if you just told them write a girl, that's how they would write a girl, no matter how basic it would be, right? This is just like a 100% like AI trope, so that's that. Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing, that like it's so easy. Like honestly, like the way you could have done it is just really gender swap any of the characters, just have them like they could have easily have been like, because that's how you write like women, is they're just people. Like they don't always have to be just like seductresses. Like Jujutsu Kaisen's way better at this shit, and
oh yeah,
I think it's the
really
number one
good.
show for like feminism regarding anime. Like this shit is terrible though in that regard.
Yeah.
Like I'm so glad that shit. What's the name of the Navarro or something?
Yeah. Nobaro.
I'm so glad that she's not like isn't fawning over Mr. Kaisen at all.
Yeah.
Like she just is her own character. Same thing with the sword lady with glasses.
And that's the other thing. Like, Nobara acts girly. Like, she has feminine traits, but she just doesn't, like... That isn't, like, the entirety of her personality, and she still is an active character.
She's like a character. She just fully is a character. She doesn't exist for the purpose of, like, the male characters.
Mm-hmm.
She's got her own, like, personality and wants, you know?
Like, if you swap their genders, they still say the same character.
Yeah.
Like male
That
Nobara
kind of thing
still feels awesome as female Nobara.
Yeah.
That kind of thing annoys me a lot because it's one of the things that I think is actually like pretty easy to avoid. Just like literally just pretend the character's not a girl if that's what like just make a character and don't give her the girl tropes and just like she'll still be a girl, right? You know,
Siscon guy could have easily been a woman. Like
yeah. All of them could usually be women.
Honestly, yeah, Mash could have been a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys?
I
think I've.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, actually, I'm sure we've only covered like 2% of your 3 pages, right, Matt?
I'm gonna give it a compliment because I haven't done that in a while. I actually liked Masked Person.
Me too.
I didn't like the sequence where they got defeated because I thought the resolution was kind of dumb, but I thought the whole thing afterwards, and I thought they were interesting enough to not be like thrown in with the rest. And I actually did like the final interaction between Glasses Guy and Siscon Guy.
Yes.
The sort of like how he gives him respect for putting the same dedication in his job or whatever. I appreciate that, even if I didn't like everything else preceding it. Clear, like diamonds in the shit, you know. But yeah.
Okay, I like the Glasses Guy too, and I like the whole fight with Lance. But again, I'm gonna repeat this, and this is my biggest issue with the villains. They all feel like the same character, but with different animations and different designs. Like, they're all like, oh, you're so weak, that means you're worthless. Ha ha ha, we're so much better than you. It's always the same thing, just Glasses Guy has a different, like, idle animation. And honestly, I like Glasses Guy because you can definitely feel that it isn't just pure arrogance or narcissism. It comes from a sense of insecurity and trying to prove himself to his father. And I do like how you could argue that a lot of his boistering about how crappy people is him just venting and projecting his own insecurities on other people. And I thought that was really fascinating.
Do that more. Explore that more. Because that's where your show's the strongest, is when you actually have the characters interact with the mechanisms of their world. That's where you actually like iron out the whole point that you're trying to do. That you could easily make the point that these guys are just as much victims of the system that they're in as everyone else. And you have little hints of it, and that's cool. But there's just so much useless garbage in between. Oh my god.
See, that's it. Okay, I'm also going to throw another point in your category, Matt, because the pink-haired girl is the only... Well, no, she... Okay, the other guy got a backstory. I was about to say she was the only one who didn't get a dramatic backstory, but I take that back. But you could have done something really interesting where she's all cutesy and bubbly because she was constantly drilled that that's how you're supposed to act as a woman. And that would have been a really interesting thing where she's slowly starting to, like... She's trying to inch out of the whole, like, femininity, cutesy, girly girl stuff as the fight goes on. And then at the end of the fight, you can have a moment where, like, Dot, who's just, like, the #1 girl crazy character, admits that, like, hey, she was pretty cool, she was pretty tough, kind of thing. Like, have her be, like, the first woman he actually respects. You know what I mean.
Incorporate the misogyny in your story into the plot of your world to make it like something you actually explore. Because if you had it as a part of the wizarding world, is that there's like it's like super misogynistic and it's hard for like women to like be prominent sorcerers without like playing up the whole like seductress trope. That's easily
Kind of
something
like how
you could
Jesus
explore.
Tyson did it.
Yeah. Yes. God, Jujutsu Kaisen's not. It's like competent. It's like a competent show. And it's not even like a masterpiece. It's a competent show. It's doing shit way better than this is. Oh my god. Yeah.
Anything else, you guys?
Am I crazy or is Dot not ugly?
Is that not what?
Dot's not ugly.
Okay, I wanted to mention that, and that was something that was sticking in my mind. I really want a moment where one of the villains Dot fights against is just like, dude, you look just the same as me. Calm down.
We're drawn in the same art style with the same head shape, like literally.
Like that would have been such a good like background, like how they had like the color commentary from the background characters, or from like the other cast. Just have like Finn be like, you know, we look the same. Maybe it's a personality issue.
That would be funny.
I think he's just really insecure, dude. But like the fact that the guy even plays in like Dot and the guy who was fighting were like equivalent levels of attractiveness. Like
No one's ugly in this universe.
so it's kind of hard to like when the show's like, oh, does the show believe that? Like, do they believe that? I don't know.
I think they do. It's supposed to. I think it's probably. I don't know. Actually, maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe it is just.
He's like a bus. Like he's fucking fit. He's got like he doesn't have an awful fit. Like I don't. It's weird. I don't know why they do that.
Okay, you know what? If they played it again, do what they did the Glasses guy, where they play up these weird character tropes as like personal flaws or them projecting, like have something like, oh man, Dot fell in love with someone and then she got stolen away by another person, so he just like he believes that he lost her because he was ugly instead of like acknowledging his own personal like personality flaws and then wherever he meets someone he's just like, oh man, look how pretty he is, he sucks.
He needs to have like a SpongeBob close up on his face, like of him being like super hot or something like that. Like every time he says that, he's like, "I'm so ugly, I'm terrible." And then you could have like the Ron Weasley character. This is gonna be one of his purposes, being like, "Dude, what the fuck? You're fine."
One of his purposes.
Okay. Also, why do spells, right, when everyone has their own personalized magic system? I feel like they just do that so they could throw in curveballs, since, like, the inconsistency in all their magic systems allows them to just do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah.
I have a good answer to that. That's because it is probably, like, just... If you're going to have a combat-based series, that's, like, a very interesting way to do it. But, yeah, the fact is... the whole Harry Potter thing is just being shoehorned in, so they have to pretty much do stuff that they would do in any other combat series, but they use wands to do them.
You want to know something even weirder about that? So you know how, like... Okay, so this is supposed to go with magic school. Mm-hmm. And the first class we see is a class on how to pick locks. And the same students who are taking that class know how to shoot exploding bombs, set up landmines, control gravity, manipulate plants. What is the school used for?
I think they dropped that after the first 2 episodes.
What if this school is actually like in the My Hero Academia universe? This is like actually training villains, because like they're all sitting, they all come in there pretty much trained killers already before they even start class. They're teaching them how to break into places. Like this is the villain school.
Oh god, because like the whole test is them literally fighting against a giant sphinx. They go from like traveling through a maze, deciphering ancient text, and fighting a kaiju, and now they're just picking locks. And then, like, cooking mandrakes. And they go from, like, cooking mandrakes, to like, they go from cooking class to fighting killer giant scorpions.
You know why? Because Harry Potter has a scene where Harry and friends are learning how to make a feather levitate. And they said, we can't just do that. Let's just have a scene of them picking locks. Okay, good. Done. Alright, have them fight the giant scorpions and make the shift entire gravity. Like, yeah, that'll. This guy fires nukes out of his wand. Yeah, okay, cool.
Like, I don't get it. Like, is it supposed to be like, are Harry Potter fans supposed to read this and be like, oh, look, an Easter egg? But like, if that's the case, then they'll be saying that every 30 seconds. So I just don't get it, you know?
I don't think all the Harry Potter stuff is intentional. I think that the person who wrote this was a big fan of One Punch Man and Harry Potter, and they wanted to fuse the two together. And those were just like the things that really stood out to him. I don't think he's actually actively trying to she, them. I don't think they're actively trying to like market themselves to like a Harry Potter crowd.
Okay, maybe not, but I mean, I feel like that's the only redeemable thing. Like, if I feel like the only way this is redeemable is if they are trying to market themselves to Harry Potter crowd. Because otherwise, bro, they're just taking like literal scenes and reworking them.
Yeah.
And to me, that feels like the only way you do that is if it's an Easter egg. You know, it's like you want people to be like, oh yeah, that reminds me of like that's the Harry Potter thing, right? But yeah, I don't know.
One thing I find really weird about this is talking about this in addressing this right here and right now has made me really appreciate My Hero Academia so much more. Because they could have easily made all the pro heroes DC and Marvel like.
Oh my god, you're so right. Oh,
it could have
like
Deku
My Hero is like literally using like Spider-Man's moveset, but everything else they could have easily gone like the boys Invincible route and just like make All Might straight up Superman.
How are you making me appreciate My Hero more? This is. Oh my god.
Yeah, because you're so right. Like, this really does make me appreciate the originality of My Hero. Because imagine trying to make a superhero series these days that's different. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This arc alone, I feel like it feels like 3 different Harry Potter movies to me. They have the whole like trials underneath the school in the first movie. They have the whole like people being attacked and like almost like. You know, in movie 2 where they have the whole basilisk like freezing people. That's what everyone being drained of magic and being turned into puppets feels like. The whole prisoner escaping from magic prison. That feels just like fucking Prisoner of Azkaban, the third one.
Yeah, that's 100% just Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question: are you saying the writing for Mashle is so good it was able to condense 8 hours of Harry Potter footage into 3 episodes?
I hate that it's making me appreciate Harry Potter more than this. Like, I hate that. Like, be like, damn, this is good writing comparatively, but I fucking hate J.K. Rowling and other making me fucking do this shit.
I don't like the fact that I actually spent. I feel like I spent too much time talking badly about Mashle. What do I like about Mashle?
I like that. For me, I like the character designs. I do, as underdeveloped as you could argue that it is, I do like the world it's setting up. And I can't... Okay, and this is kind of coming into my mindset, but I just got finished watching the final episode of the current season of Demon Slayer, and oh my god, I appreciate this show so much more after watching that.
You did the good old strategy where you guys fed me vomit to make me appreciate all the anime. So, and that's not happened to you. Okay, you know what's also funny?
Oh, you know, one more thing I will say. Yeah. I respect the writing. Like, I keep saying this, and one thing I think a lot of times we take for granted is that writing is really, really, really hard. And I do appreciate that while the writing in this isn't great, I think it covers a lot of the bases really well. So I give praise for it being... one of my favorite things about the writing is that it's not good, but it is at least solid.
I don't agree.
And I respect that.
I don't know why this got enough budget to have like a full anime, but I guess there are worse out there. So
to be fair, this seems like one of the lower budget anime that I've seen.
Speaking of that fire effect when they did the when the sword person was like showing like the vision using the fire was very rough.
Yeah,
It
well,
was
he's saying
like
like his magic,
yeah.
dude. It was so awesome. His magic is so powerful; it transcends dimensions.
It looked like live. It was like live action footage fires. It was like a stock premiere effect.
I was talking about Sword.fbx. Oh god.
Oh my god. I liked it when his mask cracked. That's signifying that he at the end of that scene where he's talking to Mashle, because it signified that his beliefs were also being like cracked through.
Yep.
Um,
Also, his parents tried to murder him, and they never like go back in deeper into that.
yeah, it's fine though.
Yeah,
I'm
how did they fail? Clearly the mom's a loser, because how do you not like manage to choke a little kid?
Yeah.
It's because she doesn't work out, like, because they're magic users, and he negated their magic.
That explains it.
See, that's another thing that would be really interesting to address, is like how dependent people in this civilization are on magic. Because you see people like using it to like clean shoes, make food, and everything. It's like the fact that like he can like negate magic, just stop them from feeding themselves, or something. Like they can't even like pick up spoons. Just like, my wand, it doesn't work. How do I use this?
So with another thing that I appreciate about this episode is I like how Mask Guy found out that Mashle wasn't magic because his thing didn't work on him.
Yeah.
I thought that was a clever way of being like without being super obvious about it, to like almost like foreshadow, like, oh, so that's why he knows, because when he was fighting him, he didn't expect Mashle to like still be able to run that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Good on you, writers.
Yep. You did it.
You did it. Congrats. You did something
you
cool.
had two good characters.
I wouldn't even say good, but you know.
Okay. You want to do ratings?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll give these... Again, Demon Slayer has me feeling really generous. I'll give them a solid 6.5 out of 10. I liked Dot's moments. I liked a lot of the world building. I liked Masked Man and Glasses Guy. But I still think a lot of my problems are still persistent. I think the fight setups are very formulaic, and I think the introduction of the second please, or whatever they call them, was very weak.
Okay. I think I would give it probably like a 5 or a 5.5, which is weird score because I'm pretty sure I gave it a higher score last time, but I think these episodes are better than last time. And what I liked the fights. I think they're interesting to me. That's like the thing that's keeping me going. The fights are like interesting enough for me that I wanna keep watching them. Despite what Matt says, I like Mash's clever solutions to his intelligent opponents. What else? I guess probably the main thing that I want the show to change is like the biggest thing, at least, is I think the fights are the most important part. So it should like, it would be cool if they had more like emotional weight to them. They kind of feel rushed. Honestly, you never hear me say this, but I think the fights should maybe be longer. You know, maybe less fights, like less people, and then just longer fights. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that I'll just stop there. So yeah, that's my score.
Cool.
If you had a camera in my room and were like, or if you were like in my room seeing me watch this show, you'd assume that I was like watching like just like a blank screen. I was emotionless this entire time. This show is exhausting. I feel nothing about like none. I don't like any of the characters, which is like odd because usually in anime at least there's like a character that I like, or like even a fucking design that I like. But no, I don't think that they thought at all or incorporated at all about like any of the mechanics of the show. And if it weren't for like a couple of like character moments where I'm like, oh, that's like semi-competent, I would be giving this like a 1 out of 10, but instead I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 10.
Dang!
Wow. Okay. All right.
Burn.
1.5. Is that your lowest score?
Yeah, it has to be.
Was
yeah,
last
that
week
is.
1 or was it also 1.5?
I feel like last time was a 2.
Was it a 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not sure though.
But either way, let's tune in to episode 12 to see Matt finally give an anime
negative.
a score of 0. Yeah, a negative score.
Oh, also this show made me hate cream puffs. I fucking hate cream puffs now.
You monster.
Anytime
That's
I just
funny.
see
It
it.
has the opposite effect on me. It made me like cream puff. It made
I know,
honestly,
right?
I'm starting to wonder if like this show's being powered by like the cream puff industry. You know?
Okay, you know what? This is like, you know something I always wondered. You know how like manga artists are like always so overworked? Is there just like, do manga artists are just starving themselves? Is this why there's so many food references in this stuff? Like Dragon Ball
Probably.
Z, all the characters were named after like vegetables, like, and now here's just like nothing but like cream puff references. It's just like the main. It's just like are the writers just like writing out their desperate cries for food in their work?
It could be a fetish thing too.
A fetish for cream puff.
I get a visceral reaction every time I see them mention cream puffs now. I begin to shake violently and foam from the mouth.
You go to sleep at night and you have nightmares.
I have nightmares about
Song
that
loop
fucking
over
cream
and
puff
over.
thing. Yeah.
You just see like a giant version of like that cream puff plushie
Yeah.
lemonade just looming towards you.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note, thank you for watching our review of episodes 8, 9, and 10 of Mashle. And tune in next time for our next review. I'm the most unreliable person in the world, so I'm not going to say it'll be episode 10, but maybe it'll be 10 and 11, or 10 and 11 and 12. We'll see. Thanks.
And Matt, look
Bye.
at the bright side. Once we finish this, we'll have more Bleach to review.
Hell yeah.
Oh, true. Yes. I mean, everyone in the world is happy about that except for Matt. Yeah, it's cool.
Honestly, it would be a palate cleanser to this.
Dang!
Watch, he'll come back. He'll be giving Bleach 8s and 9s. It'll be crazy.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.